Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you can see that. That was the full moon still up. Okay, it is a little cooler morning this morning than what we've been having. Uh, yeah, it's kind of nice. You see the sun starting to come up. Butch there. Little mosquitoes right here. I'm going to take a little time this morning, share some thoughts about something that's basically changed the world. Today is September 11th, 2022, which, 21 years since September 11th, 2001. Sure, we all remember that. It's one of those things. There's not many things in my life that I can remember quite as well as I do that. Big events like this. I was at work. I'd been on my job that I just left in November. I'd been there about 8 months. Yeah. And we was working, and somebody come in and, of course, into our room, and told us that, of course, nobody had much information at that point, and I can remember thinking, no way. And then, we get more news and more news, because some departments had shut down, just completely shut down, and was watching it as it unfolded on the TV. But I can remember every time I went to break that day, looking up, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a different day. One thing is that there was no contrails, where the jets had flown through. And usually, you can look up about any time of the day and see one or two somewhere. None. And it just seemed to be quieter that day. And in a lot of ways it was, just because a lot of people were trying to process what was going on. And like a lot of people, it made me mad, and I got into the whole, just obsessively watching it. Which, in 2001, we had a 24-hour news cycle, constant. You could see news any time of the night or day. If you were around, that. That hasn't changed a lot, but I think that single event, and I don't think it was a single event, there's a series of events that day, plus some others that had happened that weren't as impactful as that morning was, and the loss of life of that day was horrible. But what's happened since, there's been a lot of bad things done in the name of safety. Homeland Security is a direct outcome of that. The ramping up of the surveillance state, which, trust me, if you don't think we're being surveilled in everything we do, you're crazy. You're just not paying attention, really, which makes you a little more insane. Now, you got to be careful. I understand. I've been caught up in that. Just paying too much attention, trying to know everything, and you just can't. You just got to say, well, I just can't keep up with it all. I've still got to live my life. you know, and go on. But anyway, that day, September 11th, 2001, changed this country. I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, now you have to have a federal identification to travel anywhere, to fly. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. To fly. You can still drive whenever you want, so far. Those of you who are old enough to remember what it was like before that, it's they've enacted so many laws since then that are an invasion of our privacy. I know that if you pull out more than $10,000 cash out of your bank, the federal government requires your bank to notify them. Yeah, of course, they blame that one on drugs and terrorism. That's part of the whole, I don't know, fighting terrorism thing. And here's the sad part. We're forgetting. I see so many people that don't know. I mean, you think about it. That's 21 years ago. There's adults now that weren't even born then. Of course, it all goes back, generations forget. We forgetting Pearl Harbor, I can remember every December 7th. That was a big deal. December 7th, 1941. And we're forgetting that, Okay, Miss Skittles, you're done. I'm sure there are a lot of people that really would like to forget both of those dates. There's still people alive that can remember that, I'm sure. 1941. But since today is September 11th, and of course, my videos are usually put out in the evening, so you probably won't be getting to see this till the day's done. But anyway, and it doesn't matter if you see this. Take a few seconds out of your life and say a prayer. Just spend a quiet moment, think about the victims, of September 11th, 2001. Because, it seems we're forgetting. And we need to be remembering, there's things that we just need to remember as a country. And remember how united we were. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories about it and all that, but you can go look all that up on your own. I don't have any interest in doing that. I've done that with some of them, and just don't want to. I just think that we ought to be remembering not only the event and the loss, but the loss of lives, the loss of property, but let's also remember the loss of freedom and liberty. And it started before then, but it has escalated since then. I mean, and all in the name of safety. And there's some other things going on now, but that's a different story for a different day. But just take a minute today or two, or just a few seconds even. It don't matter. Just remember, just remember how things were before. Remember the victims. Remember the loss of property. I mean, yeah, it was rich people, but who cares? Nobody deserved that. It was one of the few times that New York City had sympathy from me. I mean, because most of their problems are self-inflicted. But anyway, again, another rant for another day. So I'm going to get off here, go find me some breakfast, and see what else we can get up to today.